It was described as a nightmare unfolding in real life. Winds roaring like a freight train, waves swallowing entire coastlines, and rain pouring down in sheets so thick that even daylight disappeared into darkness. This is Hurricane Melissa, one of the strongest storms ever recorded in the Caribbean.
It's getting worse now. Getting way worse.
Look, there are people, see the cars going, people, the drive post, look at people. I told you it's going.
Making landfall in Jamaica as a catastrophic Category 5 hurricane, Melissa brought unimaginable destruction, leaving behind a trail of collapsed homes, flooded towns, and lives changed forever. In today's report, we'll break down what happened, how it unfolded, and what comes next for the people standing in the aftermath of this historic storm. On October 28, 2025, Hurricane Melissa roared into Jamaica's southern coast with sustained winds reaching 185 miles per hour. That's nearly 300 kilometers per hour. Meteorologists called it the storm of the century, and for good reason. When Melissa made landfall near the parish of Westmoreland, it was packing a central pressure of around 892 millibars, putting it among the most powerful hurricanes ever observed in the Atlantic Basin.
See there?
Give some clothes, water video, look, water to roof height. Fireman up here to rescue.
What started days earlier as a tropical disturbance near the Lesser Antilles intensified rapidly over the warm Caribbean waters, strengthening from a Category 2 to a Category 5 in less than 24 hours. Satellite images showed an almost perfect eye, symmetrical, enormous, and glowing with deep convection. By the time it approached Jamaica, the island had less than a day to brace for impact. Melissa made direct landfall along Jamaica's southwestern coast, near the parishes of St. Elizabeth and Westmoreland. These areas bore the brunt of the storm's fury. Hurricane-force winds ripped off rooftops, uprooted trees, and sent power lines crashing onto the streets. Entire neighborhoods were submerged under floodwaters. Heavy rains, exceeding 1,000 millimeters, or nearly 40 inches, fell across the western and central regions, causing flash floods and landslides that swept away roads and vehicles. The storm surge added to the chaos, with ocean waters rising more than 6 feet above normal levels in coastal communities like Savannah, Lamar. Homes close to the shore were completely destroyed, while fishing boats were hurled inland like toys. Eyewitness videos shared online showed walls of water and wind bending palm trees to the ground. Some described the sound as like a jet engine that never stopped. As the eye of the storm passed, central and northern Jamaica also faced severe impacts. Kingston, the capital, was spared the most violent winds, but torrential rainfall caused flash flooding and widespread power outages. In Montego Bay and Negril, tourists and residents alike huddled in shelters, as hotels and resorts were battered by waves and flying debris. Airports were closed, flights canceled, and communication lines cut off in several parishes. The country's main electricity provider, Jamaica Public Service, reported that more than 80% of the island lost power. Rescue teams struggled to reach communities isolated by fallen trees and landslides. Roads in the Blue Mountains were buried under mud, and bridges collapsed under the force of rushing water. Early reports confirmed at least 7 deaths, though officials warned that number could rise as rescue operations continued. Among the victims were two fishermen who had attempted to secure their boats before the storm made landfall. Their bodies were later recovered from the coast. It's a stark reminder of how quickly a decision, made with good intentions, can turn deadly in the face of nature's power. Inside Jamaica, stories of survival are emerging from every corner. In the parish of St. Elizabeth, one family described clinging to their roof beams as the floodwaters rose waist-deep inside their home. Another resident told reporters, "We could hear houses breaking apart around us. It was like the whole island was groaning." Hospitals switched to backup generators as strong winds tore off sections of roofs. Medical staff worked through the night to treat injuries from flying debris and collapsed structures. Shelters were opened in schools, churches, and community centers, providing refuge for tens of thousands. Yet in some areas, people were stranded for hours before help could reach them. Despite the destruction, what stood out most was the resilience of the Jamaican people. Neighbors helped clear fallen trees, shared food and water, and checked on the elderly and vulnerable. Local radio stations, some broadcasting from generators, became lifelines, connecting families and spreading vital safety information. After tearing across Jamaica, Hurricane Melissa weakened slightly to a Category 4 storm as it moved north-northeast toward eastern Cuba. But even at reduced strength, it remained a powerful and dangerous hurricane.
Boy! Brother! I don't have a ghost in their house, I'm gonna kill them.
Right in front of my gate, that. Jesus have mercy, God. Look on the road. I read that now.
Forecasters warned of heavy rainfall and flash floods in Cuba's Santiago and Guantanamo provinces. The Bahamas and the Turks and Caicos Islands were also urged to prepare for tropical storm to hurricane conditions as Melissa moved further north. Meteorologists noted that while the storm's intensity had decreased, its size had expanded, meaning a wider area would feel its effects. Satellite models showed the eye growing less distinct, a sign of gradual weakening, yet its rainfall bands stretched hundreds of miles, carrying moisture that could spark additional flooding across the Caribbean. Jamaican Prime Minister Andrew Holness declared a national state of emergency, calling Melissa a national disaster of unprecedented scale. He urged calm but acknowledged the enormous challenges ahead. The Jamaican Defense Force, along with local police and fire departments, began large-scale rescue and recovery operations once winds subsided. International aid was swiftly mobilized, with the United Nations, the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency, CDEMA, and neighboring countries pledging assistance. The United States, Canada, and the United Kingdom offered logistical and financial support, while regional governments prepared to send emergency crews and medical supplies. Temporary shelters were being expanded to house displaced families, and distribution points were set up for clean water, food, and essential medicine. But with roads washed out and communication systems still down in parts of the island, reaching everyone in need has been a race against time. Experts point out that Hurricane Melissa fits a troubling pattern seen in recent years. Storms that intensify rapidly before landfall, leaving little time for preparation. Ocean temperatures in the Caribbean were significantly above average this season, providing the fuel Melissa needed to explode into a Category 5 storm almost overnight. While it's too early for a full scientific analysis, meteorologists say these rapid intensification events are becoming more frequent. For island nations like Jamaica, that means the window for early warning is shrinking, and resilience planning has never been more critical. As the skies finally clear, Jamaica wakes up to a changed landscape. Beaches have vanished beneath layers of sand and debris. Croplands are flooded, and entire neighborhoods lie in ruins. But amid the heartbreak, there are stories of courage and compassion that give hope. Volunteers are already organizing food drives, Youth groups are helping clear rubble, and international charities are mobilizing to assist recovery. In one interview, a local teacher from Westmoreland said, "We've lost our homes, but not our spirit. Jamaica will rebuild, because that's what we do." Those words reflect the unbreakable strength of a nation that has faced nature's fury before, and always risen again. Hurricane Melissa will go down in history as one of the most powerful storms ever to strike Jamaica, a grim reminder of nature's might and humanity's vulnerability, but also a testament to human resilience, cooperation, and courage in the face of overwhelming odds. As recovery efforts continue, officials are urging everyone to stay informed, donate responsibly, and support relief organizations that are helping those displaced by the storm. Because while the winds have passed, the real challenge now begins: rebuilding lives, restoring homes, and preparing for whatever storms the future may bring. If you found this report informative, please consider sharing it. Awareness is one of the most powerful tools in disaster recovery. And to those in Jamaica and across the Caribbean, our thoughts and prayers are with you. Stay safe, stay strong, and as always, stay informed.